Good afternoon, everyone. Very good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep and welcome to this session as well. I'm sorry for a little delay that happened, of course, because of technology nowadays that happen quite a lot. But of course, we are not very late. It's around 1.5 minutes, but late is late. So sorry for that, guys. And we'll start with our today's session. But before that, just confirm once, is all okay? Am I clearly audible and visible to each one of you? Is there any problem there? If no problem is there, then we can straight away start with our class today. Otherwise, we shall just wait for it if there is any issue. So can you all please confirm it to me once that is all okay or not? I hope all would be okay. Okay. So what are we going to do today? As you all know that this session itself, the name itself tells you that a non-ingenious way to crack cat. What exactly is that, and what are we talking about here? So whenever you talk to anyone, about cats, that I am preparing for cat. So what can I do? What I not do? And there is a very common question that's in cat we see that we have quantitative ability, we have logical reasoning, and normally engineers have an edge over the others. So if you look at the final score, so engineers have better scores than the other guys. So being a non-engineer, is it going to harm my chances of getting into the IIMs? Is it getting very difficult for me to get into there? So these kind of common questions are there, that engineers get an edge. Most of the students are also engineers. So if you look into the batch size of these IIMs and all the top colleges, you would find that most of them are engineers. More than half of the class in almost all the top colleges is constituted of engineers. So, being a non-engineer, we always have this doubt on ourselves that whether we can do it or not. That's a big question we always keep asking ourselves. And I'm here just to give an answer for that. I try my best that how do we do that, and what best can we do in such cases, right? So what are the things that can instill that confidence in you? We will be talking about all those things one by one today. Okay. So Varun Ganju is saying it is okay. Yes. So I hope that I am audible to others as well, as Varun is saying it is fine. So my assumption is it is clear to everyone. So I'll start with this, the engineer benefit. This is what I'm starting with कि वो engineer benefit क्या है, that we keep thinking that okay, engineers get an edge, so they must be getting an extra score. So how do we deal with that? How do we compete with the same people? They would be getting an extra edge. What should be done? So first thing that comes to our mind is that engineers get a benefit from here, that is that they are good at maths, right? So normally because I think our education structure is like that only, हम लोग जब 10th करते हैं, 10th करने के बाद a person who is assumed to be more intelligent than others, उसको बोला जाता है कि तुम PCM ले लो, right? PCM या PCB वो लेके चलो, और उसके बाद 12th के बाद a good guy would get into engineering. और कहीं ना कहीं ये perception है, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I'm saying just the perception of the society that they feel okay, अगर ये स्टूडेंट आर्ट्स का है तो प्रोबेबली उतना इंटेलिजेंट नहीं है, या कॉमर्स वाला जो है ही इज एन एवरेज गाय, बट अ गुड गाय वुड बी गोइंग इनटू इंजीनियरिंग एंड ऑल, और इट बी गोइंग इन मेडिकल. सो दिस इज हाउ वी हैव डन दी बाइफर्केशन अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट, कि मतलब कौन अच्छा स्टूडेंट है कौन बुरा स्टूडेंट है. इन दैट केस ऑफ कोर्स दैट इज रॉन्ग, राइट? ऑफ कोर्स दैट शुड नॉट बी डन, बट yes, this happens. And we somehow start feeling at that stage only that because I am not good at maths and therefore I have not been sent into engineering, right? So you are not good at maths, that means you cannot do engineering. So that automatically means a person who is an engineer, who has done his BTech, so he would be good at mathematics and he would be getting a benefit over here in CAT. First thing. Second, that they can do LRDI also better, because somehow we feel that for an engineer, even their logical reasoning is better, right? And this, goes into their benefit as well. Their calculation skills are better than us. Moreover, they have more confidence of clearing these exams than we have, and that is where we start feeling that probably we are lagging behind when we have to compete with a engineer here, with an engineer. Okay. So let me just talk about it first of all. If I and why am I taking this session? Why was I asked to take this session? Is basically because I'm a non-engineer. So the person who is there, though, she called me up and she said, "Sir, you take this session." I said, "Why should I take it?" They said, "Because you are a non-engineer and you have scored good in CAT. So of course you will be having that confidence to tell people, see that I have done, and you also can do that." So I thought, yes, it makes sense. But at the same time, you guys must be feeling, sir, you are a teacher. So of course your mathematics or your LRDI would be good because you have been doing this for a long time. So आपका तो अच्छा हो ही जाता होगा. But we are not able to improve it. What do we do? How should we do it? How do we deal with the engineers? So first thing I want to give you some of the facts here. That is, how many students appear for CAT in one particular year. I hope all of you would be knowing about that this number is approximately 2 lakhs. And out of these 2 lakh people, how many of them are engineers? We never actually think of it. We always see that, okay, whenever we look at the people who are there in the top colleges, most of them are engineers. 60-70% of the class would be having engineers, but normally 60 to 70% of the people who write CAT, they are also engineers. वो भी engineers हैं, right? So you, if you assume that probably engineers are getting an edge because of this, that they are good at maths, they can do LRDI better, their calculation skills are better, and therefore they are going into these top colleges and they get an edge over us. It is primarily not because of that. It is because most of the engineers write CAT. You probably would not have thought about it. You probably would not have seen this. So today only I am saying check it out. I actually put up an RTI in one of the IIMs and I got this answer from there. I asked them that how many people write CAT, and out of those, how many of them are engineers, how many of them are commerce students, how many of them are art students. You would be, I mean, surprised to know this. That at that time, the answer that I got, it was around 4 or 5 years back. At that year, the IIM said that 66.5% of the students that are appearing for CAT that year, they were engineers. A mere 21 or 22% of the students were actually commerce students, and then the remaining 10-11% we had people from arts background, we had people from hotel management, we had people from even medical background. तो हर तरह के लोग फिर उसमें आ गए थे. But this percentage is so high. और of course सीधी सीधी सी बात ये है that if you see that the intake has a higher percentage of engineers, so of course there also in the batches you will find more and more engineers. That has to be there. There's nothing wrong with that. So एक तो पहली बात ये दिमाग से निकाल लो that somehow they are also looking to hire more and more engineers or to take more and more engineers. That is not correct. That is just because the influx of engineers from CAT is too high, and therefore most of them reach in the second stage. Right? So I see some messages. Sujit says, fine, okay. Mr. Sahil says, hi, big fan. Me too, Sahil. Big fan of yours. Same, I am non-engineer. Great. Sujit is also non-engineer. Of course, therefore only you are attending this session, I suppose. Varun says from PCM background, okay. CT के speed up quant वाले lecture कब से start करेंगे? Sahil, अभी तो we have not decided upon it, but very soon they would be there. Does anyone have BYJU'S subscription? I want to join for trial classes. Varun, these are the trial classes only. I mean, this is the best part of it, that nowadays, if you go to an online classroom, so of course their YouTube channel is there and all faculties do teach over there. So just see all these videos, and these are the trial classes. I can't change my teaching method in my normal class. Whatever way I would be teaching here, the same way I would be teaching in the class as well, right? So these are more or less like trial classes only. So if you are satisfied with these, I think you should start as soon as possible with us, right? And if you are not, I would request you to give us feedback about it. Sir, I am from science stream. Subrat, I am also from science stream. I will be talking about it currently. Now, here when I talk about they are good at maths, can do LRDI better, does that mean they are not good at maths or they are not good at LRDI? So it's not about engineers versus non-engineers. Please do not take this session that way. ठीक है. It is not engineers versus non-engineers. Whatever I have written on the screen, I have just written it to just give you that confidence, right? We will be talking about it, that it is not that I am behind someone already in this race, right? There are a few things that definitely works for an engineer, but of course there would be few things working for a non-engineer as well. That if a person is from engineering backgrounds, actually after 12 they appear for that JEE course, right? JEE exam, and there they appear for an entrance examination. They actually write mathematics over there, physics and chemistry, that all is there in that exam. And somehow many of them must have written some other exams as well. Because of that practice, somehow many of those guys are actually better at it with respect to a person who has left mathematics way behind in 10th. देयर वुड बी मैनी ऑफ अस जिन्होंने 10th में मैथ्स किया था, उसके बाद मैथ्स छोड़ दिया है. वी हैव नॉट स्टडीड मैथ्स टिल डेट. तो ऐसे में पॉसिबिलिटी हो सकती है दैट यू डोंट डू दैट, राइट? बट ऑफ कोर्स इफ अ पर्सन वाज इन टच ऑफ इट, मस्ट बी गेटिंग ए बेनिफिट फॉर इट. तो मिलेगा भी, मिलना भी चाहिए. बट यू ऑल्सो नो दैट उसको कहीं ना कहीं मैनी ऑफ दीज कॉलेजेस आर ऑल्सो ट्राइंग टू जस्ट आई वुड से normalize it by giving some extra marks to the non-engineers and the other kids, right? तो ऐसा कुछ करके वो भी नॉर्मलाइज करने की इस चीज को कोशिश करते ही हैं. एंड दैट्स व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज हैपनिंग नाउ इट इज. BSc physics stream, okay Subrat. Does job experience matter in selection? Of course Shishupal, every college has some different weightage for job experience. Good afternoon Gaurav. Will different background help to secure IIMs, like I am from hotel management background and getting into IIM? Of course yes Varun. So going by the selection criteria of IIMs nowadays, so they say that let us say, I'm just giving an example, I'm not saying everyone follows this, but normally what they are doing is that because there are engineers, there are commerce students, there are science students, there are arts humanity students, there are hotel management students as well. So they will say, okay, from each stream we will take the top 50 kids. Now when I talk about top 50 engineers, अब वो top 50 engineers जो है वो 99.9 percentile पे ही they get over, because in the top 100 people you would find more than 50 would be engineers. But when I talk about top 50 hotel management graduates, probably 50th might be at 91 percentile. So even that would be getting a call, even this guy would not be getting a call at 99.9. So this is how selection criteria works sometimes in favor of the non-engineers as well. Yes Subrat, you can do MBA, no one stops you from doing that for sure. लास्ट ईयर आपके टाइम एंड वर्क P&I वाले शॉर्टकट ने हेल्प किया. स्कोर 19. ग्रेट साहिल, दैट्स गुड टू हियर. ओके, नाउ द पॉइंट इज, कैन ए नॉन इंजीनियर डू इट? आई मीन द वे जैसे सुब्रत भी अभी पूछ रहे हैं दैट कैन आई डू MBA? आई एम फ्रॉम BSc फिजिक्स. According to the IIMs, the selection criteria, sorry, the eligibility criteria is anyone who is a graduate can write CAT. Anyone who is a graduate can appear for CAT. So just you need to be a graduate, or you should be in the final year. That means you are going to complete it in the next year. You can always write CAT, whichever stream you are from. Even if you have done, let us say, BSc in physiotherapy, I don't know whether that happens or not. But even if you are a medical student, you have done, let's say, any pharmacy course, B Pharma वगैरह अभी आपने किया, still you can write CAT. They just say you should be a graduate. So everyone definitely can appear for CAT. And can a non-engineer do it? As I just told you that yes, first of all, because of that selection criteria, and of course yes, for any person who is from any of these streams. The exam is not designed in favor of an engineer only, no, right? It is actually there such that anyone can appear for it and score. The only thing is we just look at the exam from a very objective perspective. हम लोगों को ना कुछ ऐसा दिखाई देता है, there is mathematics, I am not good at maths, right? There is English, I am not good at English. Though actually that is not mathematics, that is quantitative aptitude. That is not English, that is verbal ability and reading comprehension. And these are slightly different from what we think. So of course anyone can do that, even if a person is from non-engineering background. So I am just going to show you a scorecard over here. It's a scorecard from CAT 2006, as you can see. बहुत पुराना scorecard है. From CAT 2006. In those times, CAT used to be an offline affair, right? Paper hota tha, paper pe you had to write, and then you used to get your scorecard by post. घर पे आता था पेपर, एक बकायदा आता था on which your scores were written. This is how the I mean, the result was declared in those days. So this is from those days only. So as you can see on the scorecard, this person has scored 99.86 percentile in logical reasoning and data interpretation. This person has scored 99.98 percentile in quantitative aptitude, but this person has scored very poor in English. Still, the percentile you can see it is 58.5. And actually, this happened because I remember even I appeared for CAT 2006. I do remember that in 2006 CAT gave the toughest paper of verbal ability ever. आज तक जितने भी CAT हुए हैं, this 2006 is assumed to be the toughest paper till date. अभी तक का ऐसा माना जाता है. So even many of the institutes got many of their answers wrong. So 25 questions थे total verbal ability में, many institutes got 16 questions wrong, 17 answers wrong. इतने भी गलत हुए बहुत सारे लोगों के. Now this guy has got 99.90 percentile. Even after scoring so low in verbal ability, still this person has scored 99.90 percentile. Right? Now, this means it is not necessary, first of all, that you have to score heavily in all the three sections to get something like 99 plus. I am pretty sure even if this person would have scored 98 plus in logical ability, he would have scored 98 plus in quantitative, and let's say a decent percentile of 70-75 in verbal ability, though that is not decent, slightly below decent. अगर 80 का भी percentile लिया तो this person would have scored 99.2, 99.3 से ज्यादा का percentile पक्का ही आ जाता. Right? And why am I showing you this scorecard? This is the scorecard of a non-engineer. Right? और ऐसे बहुत होते होंगे. Somehow I got hold of one of those, but there would be many people. So when we feel that okay, a non-engineer cannot score more than 99 or 99.9 से ऊपर तो आने का सवाल ही नहीं है. This does not happen. ठीक है? Thank you, Tanish. That is the main purpose of these sessions. They should be helpful for you. And if you find them helpful, I would request you to like the session as well, just so that I also get to know that these are being helpful for you. And here I tell you the name of the person. It's me, Saral, right? So that's my date of birth as well. So I completed my graduation in 2002, and after that I appeared for CAT. I did not take any coaching or something, right? I am a non-engineer, let me tell you. I did my BSc in computer science. I did my BSc in computer science from a place probably you would not have even heard of. I did my schooling from there. I did my graduation from there. And at that time, when I just completed my graduation, I'm telling you with all my honesty, I did not even know what is CAT, right? I did not even know what is CAT. So I'm not an engineer. I didn't know about CAT. So I just appeared for it somehow. किसी भी तरीके से मैंने लिख दिया exam. 2004 was the year, right, when I just started clearing doubts for students, right, who are preparing for CAT. I found myself logically a bit better, so I thought that if I would be clearing doubt, some institute gave me this job that rather than studying here, you can do one thing because you're slightly better at logical reasoning, so you can start clearing the doubts, or your practice would also be there. So this is how I started it, right? And let me tell you, you would say कि 2006 तक तो आप काफी prepare हो गए होगे. So I appeared for CAT for the first time in 2002, and I still remember my percentile was 98.94.8 something. Now, why am I telling you all this? So of course मैं अपनी तारीफ तो कर ही रहा हूँ, मुझे पक्का पता है, ये तो मैं काम कर ही रहा हूँ. But the more important part is when I appeared for CAT in 2002. I did not have any knowledge of CAT. First of all, I was a non-engineer. Secondly, third, the place I belonged to, speaking English was a sin, right? You can't even, speak two words in English. That was the scenario. So verbal ability was anyways poor. It was still poor by 2006. It is still poor till date. But still, I thought that, okay, let me look at the CAT paper. So what exactly I did in 2002, it is about those days when you did not have anything online. So I went to Delhi. I purchased some mock tests of an institute. I remember I purchased 15 mock tests for some 1,000 rupees at that time. I went back home. I just did these 15 mock tests and I got 94.8%. एंड लेट मी टेल आई हैव बीन अ वेरी एवरेज गाय. कभी आपको लगे कि नहीं आप तो टीचर हो, आपका अच्छा आना ही था. सो 10th में आई स्कोर्ड 67% स्कोर, 67.6. 12th में आई स्कोर्ड 66% एंड ग्रेजुएशन में माई स्कोर इज 60.9. सो बेयरली आई जस्ट रीच 60 प्लस. These are my scores which can tell you how was I in my school or college time, and then I scored this good. Okay, what helped me actually, first of all, I did not have people around me who were telling me that engineers do better. मुझे पता ही नहीं था इस बात के बारे में, right? So as someone says, till the time you don't know whether it's a snake, you always feel that okay, it must be some rope, and you just move on with your normal life, nothing happens to you. But somehow when someone tells you there might be a snake there, then every rope feels like a snake. So this is what happens to us when we go into the rumors. बाकी लोग बता देते हैं ये होगा वो होगा, and then we are afraid of it. As someone just asked that can I do MBA, right? तो पहला तो यही सवाल आ गया, मैं कर भी सकता हूं कि नहीं. There only you start having these doubts, but actually these doubts are useless, right? So this is scorecard of a non-engineer guy, not good at verbal ability, right? Still scoring decent enough in his first year. 2006 was the fifth cat when I wrote, लेकिन पहले ही साल में काफी ठीक ठाक स्कोर में आराम से ला पाया. रीजन मुझे नहीं पता था कि नॉन इंजीनियर हूं मैं और इसलिए मैं अच्छा नहीं कर पाऊंगा. द ओनली थिंग वाज आई सॉ दैट व्हाट काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस डू दे आस्क यू, and trust me, I just did NCERT books, right? Someone told me that the questions are pretty easy. I mean, those are of basic type, that is arithmetic, algebra, geometry, that is there in your NCERT books. I went there, मैंने check करके देखा, and I actually found that these are kind of questions they are asked in CAT. Did that thoroughly. This did my job. LRDI is something which was completely new for me, so I had to do a lot of practice. First year I did not get very good percentile in LRDI, some 91, 92 might be there. But yes, later on I understood that I did not prepare well. Had I prepared well, I would have scored well. And in 2006, I actually scored well. Actually, I did not have the scorecards of 2005-4, but there also I could score decently in those years as well. The reason was that I just saw that I did not do enough practice. The moment I started practicing, I got a good score there. I see some questions from some people. Sir, MBA में सबसे अच्छा stream कौन सा होता है? Subrat, there is no अच्छा stream. Just don't worry about it. Just get into MBA. उसके बाद you can decide it. I'm appearing for TISNET exam this year. I saw your arithmetic geometry videos. It was helpful. Take a video on probability as well. Thank you, Danny. I would see if I can do that. Sir, CMET section innovation and entrepreneurship के लिए कहाँ से prepare करें? Altamash, it is more or less like business GK, I would say. So just go through all business current affairs and the basics of economics, basics of accountancy. So these kind of questions you can expect in your innovation and entrepreneurship. So कोई भी आप जो है ना business compendium उठा के जिसमें पिछले 1-2 साल का डेटा हो सारा, the questions would be asked upon that. I appeared for that last year. I remember it correctly. So please take some lecture on innovation. But anyways, we are taking sessions. I mean, Pranav sir is taking very many sessions on GK and all. So it must be covered over there, Altama. Just check it once. Appeared for 22 and got 57 percentile without any preparation. So without preparation, Varun, actually you can't just say whether 57 is good or not. Even if you would have got, let's say 37, 27, I would say I can't judge you by that. Because the preparation ही नहीं है, because you don't know anything about the exam, so there is a possibility you might score very low, you might score very high. Strategy से ही आपका score बहुत improve कर सकता है. Concept is a different thing. उससे तो हो ही सकता है for sure. Okay. So now the point is, non-engineers कर तो सकते हैं, क्या करना चाहिए सर उनको? So now I'll be talking about that. The first thing is that work on your logical ability. Do not work on mathematics. Do not work on English. Work on your logical ability. Start doing logical exercises now. कुछ puzzles करनी शुरू कर दीजिए, जो sudoku आता है, kakuro आता है, and these are not only going to help you in LRDI, they all will help you in your quant as well for sure. You have to learn interpretation. Statements को interpret कैसे करते हैं? What is the statement saying? How do I use it? ये सारी चीजें भी हम लोगों को नहीं पता होती हैं. So start working on those. This will be really helpful for you. The second thing is that QA, LRDI, everything, as I just said, कि सब कुछ reasoning है. The moment logic would be improved, you would automatically find your QA and LRDI would be improved. Somehow we have a very narrow way of preparation, and which tells us that okay, क्वांट के ऐसे क्वेश्चन आते हैं तो ऐसे ही क्वेश्चन पढ़ने शुरू करो. LRDI में ऐसे क्वेश्चन आते हैं तो ऐसे ही पढ़ने शुरू करो. This is not the right way of preparing. You have to work on your basics first. It cannot be like, okay, I have to do this, so from the very first day I would be working on this only. अरे नहीं, पहले you have to build up the basics, and after that You just build that and you move it onto the right platform. That is where we start discussing. I just took a session, I think 3 or 4 days back, where I discussed about all these things in detail. That it is not that you always just keep working on the kind of questions that they would be asked. Go to NCRT, read the basics. Basics पढ़ने के बाद read the basic questions, and then in the second, third stage, start doing those kind of questions that appear in CAT. टू इंप्रूव एलआरडीआई पहले कुछ पजल्स करनी शुरू करो, सुडोकू वगैरह बनाना शुरू करो, कहीं से भी कुछ भी करो. आफ्टर दैट मूव ऑन टू द टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस दैट आर देयर इन एलआरडीआई. To improve your verbal ability and reading comprehension, start reading some novels. You can start reading fiction as well. वो कहीं एग्जाम में पूछेगा नहीं, but make a habit of reading. Then move on to those kind of questions that appear. So there has to be a base which needs to be built. ठीक है, उस पे काम कीजिए. And the calculation skills, you might feel that okay, we don't have very good calculation skills, but you have to improve them. They would not be improved by themselves. If for every calculation you'll take out the calculator, start doing it, of course they would never be improved. This is something that can be improved only after doing a good practice. आपको भी पता होगा, टेबल्स वगैरह आज तक इसलिए याद है बिकॉज स्कूल टाइम पे पढ़ी थी, बहुत बार की तो याद हो गई. नाउ 12 एट्सा आई कैन डू विद इन ए जिफी बिकॉज आई हैव डन इट मेनी टाइम. 17 एट्सा नहीं आता, करा नहीं उतने बार, याद तो तब भी किया था. So these are those kind of things which of course would be there only with a good practice, and when all this would be there, confidence comes automatically with it. Of course, जब मुझे मेरा मैथ्स अच्छा हो रहा है, रीजनिंग अच्छी हो रही है, वर्बल एबिलिटी अच्छी हो रही है, कॉन्फिडेंस तो अपने आप ही इंप्रूव हो जाएगा ना. यू डोंट हैव टू वरी अबाउट इट. सो जस्ट वर्क ऑन ऑल दीज थिंग्स. आई एम प्रेटी श्योर that this is going to work in your favor. Being a non-engineer is not a negative. Keep that in mind. This is what I wanted to discuss in this session. कि आपको सिर्फ अपने लॉजिक पे काम करना है, कैलकुलेशन स्किल्स इंप्रूव करनी है. You have to develop a reading habit, and you can definitely score heavily there. I just showed you a scorecard for that purpose only. Okay. If you all understood my point, please do like the session as well, so that I also get to know you are getting my point. And Gaurav has a doubt here. Sir, in 10th I scored 60%, 1265, in BBA scored 88.9. Can I get call from IM? Please, sir, let me know. Gaurav, realistically speaking, the chances are less because IMs normally look at your academics as well. और 10th और 12th में जो आपका 60-65 है तो वो मेरे जैसा ही, मेरा भी ऐसा ही था, बट इन टूडेज एरा दैट इज कंसीडर्ड टू बी प्रेटी लेस. ठीक है, तो आपके लिए मुश्किल होगा आईएम्स में, बट इन दैट केस आई वुड से दैट डू नॉट फोकस ऑन आईएम्स ओनली. Focus on the top B schools. Not all top B schools look at your academic scores. So you can go for some other colleges which are not looking at the academic scores as their criteria. There you can work, I suppose. Sir, I gave 2021. Hi, Dhirendra. I gave 2021 CAT slot 1 exam as mock at home and I got 75%. Priya, that's a 75% is a brilliant score. I don't know whether you are saying 75 percentile or percent. Percentile तो you can't calculate by yourself. अगर वो स्कोर है तो कुछ ज्यादा ही अच्छा है मेरे ख्याल से, हालांकि वो मॉक के डिफिकल्टी लेवल पे डिपेंड करता है कि कैसा है. ओके, so that's all from my side, guys, and I hope you all know that we are running this series as well, the last lap to testnet. So till now, this is the session that we have today with Pranav sir. So these 3 sessions are still remaining. Any one of you is appearing for testnet, you can go for this series. I'm pretty sure this is going to be very useful for you. Even the previous sessions which have already happened, they are there on YouTube. Find them out and do them, guys. And people who are preparing for the next stage of CAT, you are most welcome here. We are running a batch for that as well. And for CAT 2022, we have started new batches. Just recently, I think in 14th or 15th of February, a new batch has been started. People who like it, of course, they can join BYJU'S exam prep for it. So please, guys, do like the session, comment on it, whatever your doubts are, share it with more and more people, and subscribe to BYJU'S exam prep channel so that you also get to know about the updates of any management entrance exam which is there in our country. Okay, that's all from my side, guys. Thank you very much. A very good afternoon to all of you and have a very good day as well. Bye bye.